Y'all get in here, get in here, get in here, because I have got some of the loveliest, most talented actresses, I will say, in the world on today. And I see y'all coming in here right now, okay? For those of y'all who've been living under a rock, okay? Literally under a rock. I will tell you who they are and why we are on today talking about monogamy. Okay, some of y'all got triggered already just when I said that word. I'm on here with them today talking about Craig Ross Jr.'s Monogamy, of course, which you can start streaming. Literally, you can start binging it tomorrow, the 30th, on All Black. Just it's a wonderful app. I have binged before we came on today, and we have such limited time together. So for those of y'all who, of course, don't know the ladies who I'm on with today, and I think you all do, I'm just gonna let them quickly introduce themselves, and we're gonna jump on in because I got lots of questions. Jill, you want to start?
Hi, I'm Jill Marie Jones, and I play
Yes. And we've got Chrystee Pharris, of course, and none other than Karen Ward Ross. So,
no.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to just really for folks who've not seen the show just yet. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to love binging it. Number one, if you're looking for your next show to binge, this is it. Okay. So I want to ask you this, for those who aren't familiar with the show, please give me kind of a synopsis of Craig Ross Jr.'s Monogamy. Jill, would you mind doing that?
Karen on it.
You know what? I'll take it away. Craig Ross Jr.'s Monogamy is about four married couples who are on the brink of divorce, and after trying everything under and over the sun to save their marriages, they decide to do an unorthodox experiment and swap spouses in the event of hoping to heal themselves and to repair their marriages. So that's it in a nutshell. We go on a very delicious emotional journey in that process.
So I'm curious about is explain to me swap therapy. Tell me about swap therapy. I'm here, and I've heard it, I'm thinking like old scenes of something from the 70s couples doing things, but it's much deeper than this. It's much deeper. Hey, Vanessa. Tell me about swap therapy, y'all.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Vanessa.
Anybody else want to take that away? Chrystee, Jill, you guys want to talk about swap therapy?
I mean, basically, you know what I would say is, again, they were on the brink of divorce. The D word was looming, right? And it was like their last-ditch effort to heal and hopefully mend, right? But swap therapy is basically like you go for 2 months and you live with someone that's not your spouse. That, you know, what's really interesting about the show, which I love, is that oftentimes we say that we want something outside of our relationships, whether it's marriage or relationship, right? And then we get that. Did we really want that? Mm-hmm. You know, but sometimes you go out there with what you think you wanted, and then you realize, I want to go home. So that's really like swap therapy. It's really just to look inside yourself, inside your relationship, to see if you can mend it. But some people can do it, and some people can't.
You know, that makes sense. When I was watching this question, it come to my mind around the whole idea of, you know, people always think the grass is green on the other side, and sometimes you go to the other side and you appreciate your own grass. You just realize you got to mow it. And so my question is this: do you think that, I mean, obviously, when we think about the, you know, a fictional depiction of this, you know, we can see lessons in it. But do you think there's some lessons that can apply to real life? Do you think that that couples could perhaps see their marriage improve or their relationship improve between some idea of not being monogamous for a period of time? Who wants to take that one?
I feel like that can be an option if the couple, you know, have their base rules and ground rules and they're both in agreement going into it. I know, like, specifically for myself, I don't think I could handle it. It may be healing in some ways where I get to like really see myself, but like, you know, I'm personally scared of it, but I do see where there could actually be like beauty in that and in that experience.
Well, I mean, the fear is real. The fear is real. What's up, Jill?
And I two of my of all of my relationship couple friends, two of them have an open-ish relationship, and they are two of the strongest relationships of my friendship couple groups. So I personally, I don't think I could do it, but I think it's possible, because they're clearly living that life, and
One of
it's
the things I
working for
think,
them.
one of the things I think about with, and excuse me for those who, I know we have a lot of folks on here right now. If I sound like I'm cutting anyone off, it's just that there's a delay on us. But one of the things I think about with the idea of open relationships, just like Jill just brought up, I do know some couples who've been together decades on end, and they passing it around, they doing what they doing, And my thought is, I say, if you have the mindset to be able to, like Vanessa mentioned, go into it with some set of rules, and you all can maintain that, then I do think it can be healthy, because at the end of the day, when you recognize that monogamy isn't for everybody, it's not for every stage of every relationship, and you can honor that, then there may be some beauty in it. But if you are built like me, I don't think that will work out too well for me. I want to ask you this, okay? When you think about, and I mean, so I'm not to get in your business, but whoever feels comfortable admitting that you're in a relationship, hand up if you're in a relationship of some sort. Okay, so I'm gonna ask y'all this, and Jill, you've been in relationships before, so you can answer this too. All right, when you think about the idea of sharing your spouse, what comes to mind? Vanessa, you're on mute.
I don't know. It says you muted me.
Sorry, no, I unmuted you.
Oh, okay. Honestly, the first thing I think of, like, I immediately would get jealous. Just my own personal, thing. But, I will say, from doing the show and reading the script, especially the first season, it made me think a lot about if I was actually communicating enough with my spouse, if I was giving them what they need, if I was being open and honest about what I need. Because seeing the stories play out, I was like, ooh, this is real stuff. Like, this could really happen. And people could be in relationships for years and not be open and honest, and then get, 10 years, 15 years down the line and be completely unhappy because they haven't spoke up. So the show made me switch my perspective a little bit and go a little bit deeper into my relationship and how I could improve myself and improve the relationship.
And that's the whole point. When Craig and I were conceiving of the characters and really exploring the dynamics of the relationship, all of them, if you track the series, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's just new to the series, but you can stream it on ALLBLK, seasons 1 through 3, and get caught up, because our season finale is tomorrow. But all of our characters, our couples, enter their relationships unfulfilled and not really being authentic, not really showing up as their true selves. And to Vanessa's point, I think that's the beauty of having this perspective. When you do swap a spouse, you have to get some distance and see your partner differently, but more importantly, see yourself differently. So I think there's power in that, and beauty. Again, not for everyone, but there is a healing component to it for sure.
And I was just going to add. Okay. I just want to add that, like Vanessa, I love what she said, which was, when we started doing the show, it makes you look at your own relationships and what are you doing? And are you fulfilling somebody else's, needs, as well as are your needs being met? Because of this, I can understand why people will go outside of their marriage, meaning not as in cheating, but having an open relationship. Now, it's not necessarily for me, because I try my best to make sure that I'm paying attention to what someone else's love language is, so that I can do everything that I can to fulfill that person's need, as long as it stays in the boundaries of what I can, tolerate, or whatever the case may be. Tolerate isn't the right word, but I really believe that when you try to meet someone else's needs and they're meeting your needs, I believe that it can be a healthy relationship. I just think that a lot of people they're not present enough to even see it. Wow. And that's what this show has definitely helped me to see a lot more of.
Absolutely. Jill, you got Let me take you off mute.
Because I think like we all have our ways of, like, I think tolerate is a okay word, because sometimes people can tolerate only what they can tolerate. You know, doesn't mean the other person is not a great person or whatever, but like I think tolerate is an okay word, because we all
Yeah.
have those things that we're just like no to, and like it's okay for this part or whatever, but tolerate is that's an okay word.
Yeah. You know, when I think about the whole idea of, you know, when I watch the show, I have to tell you, it's triggering for me, you know, on some level, just because the fact is, I think you put yourself in the characters' positions is what you do, you know, and because it's on a streaming platform, which to me allows you to go even deeper because you don't have to worry about traditional censorship, so you can really get into it. That allows you to really see your own relationship even that much more. And I'm telling you all right now, when you watch, it's going to feel like therapy for yourself. Even if you're single, you can be thinking about what's going to happen next time in your relationship or what you could have done differently in the last relationship. But when I watch it, one of the things I do think about is if you are not pro, you know, open relationship, if that's not your thing, it does make you think, well, what am I willing to do within my next relationship or within my current relationship to make sure that we're meeting one another's needs? Because that's what it ultimately comes down to. It comes down to, are we meeting one another's needs in such a way where hopefully the idea of having to explore outside of our relationship doesn't pull us into that. It doesn't not become a factor that we have to consider if that's not something that we want to consider. Vanessa, let me ask you this. I'm curious with this answer from all of you all. For those who are going to watch this show and they're going to binge it, give us a little preview for that person who's never watched it before. They've never watched it before. Okay, they're going to be tuning in tonight to binge it so they can get ready for season finale tomorrow. What journey will they see your character go on?
My character is obviously on a journey with her husband, but as she gets deeper into the experiment, it kind of just unloads this can of worms with her own personal battle and things she's been avoiding. She is a champion. She is great at what she does, but I feel like she's trying to find out who she is. Mm-hmm. If she wants to be with a man, if she wants to be with a woman, if she wants to be with both, she is just trying to find what feels right for her, because she's been avoiding it for so long and hiding it under hard work and just boxing and throwing herself into that. She wasn't able to pay attention to her husband as much as she wanted to, and she wasn't paying attention to herself, and she's, you know, wasn't living in her truth. So she's finding that throughout these seasons, and each season you see her develop a little bit more, you know, get a little bit closer to what feels good for her. And you see that evolution throughout the 3 seasons pretty clearly, like with the information that's given in each episode.
That's so relatable. I think that is so relatable. I'm hearing myself and you as you talk about. I'm like,
really?
That's me. What about you, Jill?
Oh, Maggie. Whew, oh, Maggie.
Oh, Maggie.
Oh, Maggie. Maggie, it's crazy how, you know, when you are an actor and you play certain characters and, you know, I mean, you really dive in, you know, if that's who you are as an actor. Like, that's who I am as an actor. I really try to dive in, and just some characters just kind of like land on you, and Maggie is one of those for me. She I don't want to give away too much for someone who's never watched first season, but her and her husband Carson, they've been through a lot. You know, they've gone through the tests of what I think what a marriage would have, for one. Like, literally, like, they've gone through tragedy and that. And then she goes on the experiment and she meets someone, and she has to really question, she has a lot of questions about, does she want to try over here where they've been tested so much, and they, you know, it's hard over there in her real life marriage, but also too, there's someone else that came in that's new and fresh and honeymoon phase type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd season, we I don't want to say.
I know you're doing the best you can.
I'm so bad. I'm just trying like not to say too much, but listen, I feel like sometimes we go through things in life that test us. And I'm a person who thinks that I'm okay with that, because I feel like when you're tested, then you come back stronger. That's how I feel about my relationship. So I feel like Maggie has gone through that kind of thing. And I don't know that I answered the question.
No, you did. You took it. You did.
I'm so bad at like not trying to do the spoiler stuff. So.
You did great. You did great. What about you, Chrystee?
Yeah, it was interesting playing this character because for me, she's completely different. You know, I didn't come from, a rich home. It was like this whole big, huge challenge when I remember reading the script going, oh, I said yes before I even read the script. Like, what was I thinking? And I remember being on set the very first day and Craig going, oh, no, calm it down. Like she's not loud. She's not loud. She's got to be opposite of Sense Ray. She can't be loud. And I just remember the challenges. The one thing though about this particular character and her journey, you start to, I think when people have money, people think that their lives are perfect, like they don't have challenges or that they don't have struggles and that their hearts have never been broken or that, their family life is perfect. And you start to see the layers of the onion being peeled from Deandra and her relationship with her husband, Connor, and then now her play husband, Dallas. You see the journey of like, wow, did I make the right choice with my husband? Should I be on the other end? So you see her just the journey of going up and down. And in the end, you're just like, who is she going to end up being with? And then there's some other stuff that happens this season that we're not allowed to say.
Of course.
We haven't watched it.
Of course. And for those who are asking right now, I want y'all to remember this, write it down, okay? The show is Craig Ross Jr.'s Monogamy. Okay, the title alone lets you know this is going to be a good show. Okay, it's fabulous. All right, you can watch it on ALLBLK, the streaming app. For those, I know I have viewers from all different spectrums of technology savviness. So just go on your Apple TV, baby. Go on your Roku, wherever you got to go, baby, and just go search for an app, ALLBLK. And if you want 30 days free, because we love free 99, so you can try it out. All right, use my code MJHarris. Okay, now have I ever told y'all wrong? All the mothers out there and the aunties, have I ever told y'all wrong? I've never told y'all wrong. Go watch this show. You're gonna love it, and y'all gonna be inboxing me about this show. Miss Ross, I have a question for you. So I know that you are a part of the creative genius that made this wonderful piece of art happen. But I know that when it comes to art, at the end of the day, at least when I think about art, every artist, every creator is always thinking about how do they influence the lives of the viewer who's going to watch it. For couples who will watch this together, what I can envision is that this could be a very triggering experience because they're going to be sitting beside each other like, I wonder if he's thinking he want to try this shit. And then she's sitting there thinking, he better not be, I hope she ain't thinking. And it could be a triggering experience. But so I want you, because I want couples to watch this together. I really do. I don't want this to be people's little guilty secret that they're watching on their own. So I want to ask you this. When couples watch this together, if you had to give them a primer, what can they expect to get out of this? Kind of help prime them up for this wonderful experience they're going to have watching it together.
That's a great question. I think that the intention with Craig and I, when we created this, and this started off as pillow talk, mind you. We were in the bed and, having a husband and wife moment. And I think Craig did something that kind of annoyed me. And I said, well, you need a woman that's fill in the blank. And he said, well, you need a man that's like fill in the blank. So then he picked up his phone and started Googling some men that could be that.
Where did he Google that at? Hold on, you got to pause. Where did he Google that at?
Well, he was like, you need this. I'm like, you know what? I do. And so I'm kind of half joking, half not. blurring the lines between reality, life, and art. So we wanted to really take on this idea, well, what your perfect partner, and to really look at monogamy. And we have this idea when we enter relationships, and to answer your question specifically, MJ, that your person can be all things to you. And sometimes that's a heavy burden and a heavy responsibility. And what happens is couples often crush under the weight of that. And to address, kind of dovetail into your question before this, my character is one who really needed a man to come save her. And that was a dynamic that even Karen personally, a lot of times in my 20s and we'll say 30s, I would enter in relationships where I needed a man to come and save the day. And some of you in the audience may relate to that, some of you may not. And it wasn't until I started to take full responsibility for my life, for my own happiness, that I could enter into a healthy relationship. And interestingly, that is the journey that my character goes through. So to answer your question about couples, what they can look to get out of it, I'm thinking part of it is they will see themselves in all of the couples, whether that's your sexual orientation, whether that's your particular nuance of your relationship. It doesn't matter. There's a universal component to our show, which is we all figure out ways to negotiate being loved. And it's usually based on trauma that's happened in childhood that gets unhandled, and then we look for our partner to solve it and fix it for us. So the beauty of it is the more you can heal yourself, the more you can enter into a partnership that's more whole and more complete, which is the journey of all four of our characters. So there it is. I can't hear you, MJ.
My apologies. One of the things that I think about when I watch the show is just the question of, is it even possible to be truly, fully in love with two people at the same time? Is that possible? I'm going to throw it out there. Anyone who wants to grab it.
I mean, again, like I don't know that it's for me. I don't think it's for me. But again, I have two friends that are, well, two different couples that are that are in relationships that do it very well. So, I mean, I don't think I could do it, but I'm just saying I've seen it be done. So I think it's possible. I mean, I think also too, it poses the question like soulmate, like what do you think that means? Like soulmate, can you only have one? I personally don't think that you can only have one. Like I have two best friends that are like my soulmates, you know? And so I think they come in different forms. So I don't know. So maybe, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. I had gone to this years ago. I'll tell you this. I was in a relationship. It was not going well at all. So we spent all this money to go up to Northern Oregon, okay, to a couples retreat up there, right? And we were trying to figure out what we're going to do to make it work. You know, when your relationship's falling apart, you're like, what are we going to do to make this work? We're going to figure out what we got to do to make this work. And if you're trekking up to Northern Oregon, then you really are open to all ideas at this point, right? So we're up there. And one of the ideas that we were pitching all these ideas at the guru, you know, you're paying the guru. And then so I said, well, what about if we opened it up? Because the needs you don't meet for me and blah, blah, blah. Could that work? He brought this point up to me, and I want to put this out there to you all to see how does it resonate with you all with what he said. He said, an open relationship is a very attractive thing, but here's the challenge. It's a slippery slope because it conditions your mind to believe that you don't have to cultivate getting what you need from your spouse because you always have an open door to know you can get it elsewhere when needed. You always have, you know, that there's always another outlet, rather it's that one person or selecting another person. It kind of creates an a la carte approach to fulfillment with relationships. And his belief was that relationships truly grow when you have to condition yourselves to, and I'm not saying I agree with everything you said, but they truly grow when you have to condition your mind to perhaps be willing to sacrifice some of your needs so that you can figure out what are the needs that you can meet with one another. I lead that to say this: is it possible for anyone to truly meet all your needs? And if they can't meet all your needs, is it a requirement that you get those needs met elsewhere? Vanessa, I think you're saying something. Oh, hold on, I gotta unmute you.
When I was a kid, I never had a curfew. This sounds very silly, but I'm just gonna say it. I never wanted to sneak out of the house because I never had a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people who have an understanding, they have that understanding. I don't know. Again, it's like it's not for me, but like I feel like I think it's possible. That's what I'm saying. I think it's possible. It's just not for me. But like I never wanted to sneak out of the house, but I never had a curfew. So it's like that wasn't fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
The restriction didn't exist. I think Vanessa was about to say something too. What were you saying, Vanessa?
That it's, I think that it's up to the individual or individuals involved. Like it's definitely possible, but it takes for everyone to be on the same page. And, it's tricky. No relationship is the same. I feel like everyone is entitled to do their love life the way that it feels good for them. See, I'm relating to Caroline right now, but I mean, I just feel like that's true. Like everyone can have that choice. And if it works for them, it works for them. I think it's, situational.
I agree. That's one of the wonderful things about being able to just watch these couples' journeys on Craig Walsh Jr.'s Monogamy, which is streaming with its season finale tomorrow on ALLBLK, and you can sign up using the code MJHarris for 30 days for free. But that was one of the wonderful things about watching the show, was that it does get you to think about, well, are these traditional values that I'm taught through society, directly and indirectly, are these values even values that I espouse to? Do they work for me? Because I know some people where literally, the man wrote into me a little while ago, MJ, help me. I can't help, but I just keep on cheating on my wife. What can I do to keep this woman from leaving me, and so on? And I missed the monogamy, I will tell you that. But I asked myself, well, quick question. Have y'all considered the idea of maybe just opening it up, because she knows she would have cheated, and you do what you do. So maybe if we flip this around and actually created a way, and she's stayed with you all this time. So is there a conversation to be had about your proclivities, so that you don't have, so it no longer has to be cheating? Now it can be something that is actually within something that works for you guys. He says, well, I wasn't raised that way. It's wrong. It's this, that, and the other. And I think that one of the beautiful things about these kind of shows is that, this type of topic really, is that it gets people to think at a deeper level around what is really right for me, what's right for me and right for my household. And that's what it comes down to. You agree, Karen?
Sorry, absolutely, MJ. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the intention of the show. When my husband, had the initial idea, when we were creating it, that's what we wanted. We have all been told that you follow these set of rules in life and you will have your golden rainbow at the end. And guess what? We're finding out that's not true. And these social prescriptions of how we're supposed to live, how we're supposed to love, don't necessarily equate to happiness or fulfillment. So this show is really designed to shake that up in such a way that you come through your own journey, your own understanding of what works for you. So I'm appreciative that you picked up on that, because that was the intention of the show when we were kind of conceiving it and developing these characters and their stories. So
absolutely. Now I'll tell you, I could talk to you all forever about this show. I had like about 85 questions that I wanted to go through, but I know that you all are very, very busy doing press for this show today. But I do want to ask you all this, okay? Because we all know your faces from other things and other projects, right? We know your faces. And so my question to you is this: when it comes to being on a streaming platform, because of the fact that you can do so much more, do you feel like being within this show, within this project, has taken your I don't want to say performance abilities, but that is taking you to another level as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and Vanessa is killing it this year. I just want to say that right now. You guys haven't seen the show yet. I sent a text message to Vanessa. I texted everybody else. I was like, yo, Vanessa's killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the great thing about this situation, it's not just about the streaming. It's about somebody writing stories that are telling our stories. When I do a lot of white shows, and which is incredible, wonderful, great experiences. But the characters are not always necessarily, you're their secondary character sometimes, not all the time, or you don't get you don't get a family, you don't get a love story, sometimes. But this right here, the reason why this one is so special and is like my baby is because, you know, I know it's your baby, Karen, but the reason why it's so special for me is because I got a chance to play something that we don't get a chance to show on, you know, a regular, you know, major network. It goes deeper. It's, you know, it's not, you know, a lot of times when people write, they write it on the nose, or they don't think people are smart. They don't think the audience is smart. Whereas this one, if you're not paying attention, you could miss some things. And let me tell you something, the fans of this show are on it. They're just like, oh my God, did you see? They got me going back and rewatching some of the stuff. Like, oh, I didn't even notice that. So my point is when you have, you know, Black writers or somebody writing for your particular nationality and your storyline, it's a deeper meaning for you because you get to explore in ways that you don't get the opportunity to do on, you know, a Law and Order. You know what I mean? Which I would love to be on Law and Order. So don't think I'm trying to diss Law and Order, but you get my point.
I get you. No, I get you. I mean, the show is raw. It is real. It is something that I can say I have never seen, and I binge shows constantly. I have my lazy boy chair. I'm officially at that age where I have my lazy boy chair where I can binge in. And I can tell you, I love TV. I'm a TV connoisseur. And this is some of the best TV I've ever seen because of how real it is and because it touches on topics that you do not ever seen. I've never seen this discussed. And so I just want to remind all my best friends who are out there viewing this right now that all right, now y'all need to get ready and write this down because I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Okay. You can binge Craig Ross Jr.'s Monogamy. Okay. And you know, it's a good show when you got the writer's full name in it. Okay. You can binge the show on All Black. Black ain't spelled all the way out. It's ALLBLK. Now, here's what I want you to do. Okay. When you sign up for this, I have a code for you. MJHarris. You cannot forget it. Okay. You use that code. It's going to get you 30 days for free. Okay. The season finale is happening tomorrow. I'm going to tell you this right now. And this isn't one of these shows where it's going to take you a long time to catch on with what's going on in it. Okay. You jump right in. You're going to love it immediately. You're going to love it immediately. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Okay. I want you to go ahead and sign up for this show. Go sign up for it right now. You can do it as soon as we get off of here. And then what I want you to do next is reach out to your good Judy. Okay, the person you watch TV with and tell them to sign up to, because you're going to need somebody to talk to about this. You're going to be bored and by yourself if you don't have somebody to talk to about this. You need somebody to be able to text about this show. So I want you to go ahead and find somebody else and tell them sign up. And say, what is this? You say, it's the best thing you're going to see yet, girl. Okay, this is good shit. Okay, so y'all go ahead and you get them to sign up for this and y'all going to be good to go. Thank you all so much for being on today. It is an honor and a pleasure to see you wonderful ladies working together to create beautiful art that is going to change the lives of every single person that watches it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Bye.